soup.
Soup is good.
It's good soup.
Most of the
What was
bird
the
would have
chicken?
went to Ace. He needs the protein.
He does have protein.
Aww.
Uh-huh.
Little baby
Got a bulk.
boy.
He does have the bulk. You're right.
Excuse me.
Eva
You're
sits
pain.
down, begins like enjoying the soup. The soup. Meanwhile, Giselle lands on you, Falk. Tweet, tweet, tweet.
What?
Tweet, tweet.
You can just
There you
talk.
It's just just chill. It's idling on your shoulder. That's all.
Uh,
good.
It's activating its
since Indies
idle.
about wish fulfillment, Falk whistles in like a bird call in response. I can't whistle, so
You whistle, it whistles back at you, and you guys have a nice, pleasant whistle conversation. Not like that, though. We're almost to the Eulonian line. I sent Nimble on ahead. He'll be in Gwendolen waiting for us.
Oh. So we should get there by like tomorrow, you think?
Most likely, I imagine by noon tomorrow if we maintain this pace.
Oh, that's not bad. That's not bad.
Have we received any news of current state of affairs?
You cut out.
Have we heard any news about the current state of affairs?
In Gwendolen.
Yes.
She said, no. Nimble just set out. Don't worry, I don't know if he ever rests. So he'll be there probably by morning. You can give us a sit rep. Have any of you ever been to Glendowen? I've not, but I've heard things about it.
Did Jin pass through it on his way out?
You probably did.
Yeah, he would mention. Very briefly. It was more a travel through kind of situation.
Ah, so you likely spent time in the hospitality ward.
Yes, it was quite pleasant. It lives up to its name.
I met a Glen Breen on the way north, but that's what you
That doesn't count.
And then I met a Seth Green on the way over here. To Caradoc, it's your call if you went through Gwendolen or not. There are definitely other ways of transit from Eulonia to the Free Realms. For most travelers, they go through Gwendolen, which was why Jin, looking for information, would go through there. But your call.
Oh.
I imagine if it's the most commonly used route, he would have started there and then, yeah.
Fair enough.
I imagine so.
Then, does Jin have Eulonian lore? I forget.
Let me double check. You might.
I thought you did.
I thought you did too, but I might be.
Oh yeah, I have Eulonian and Dream Rampant. Those were the two that I picked.
Okay, then roll me your lore Eulonia straight, and then Caradoc, roll me your lore Eulonia advantage.
Advantage. Yeah. I don't. Oh my god!
Well, yeah, that makes perfect sense.
I was passing through. I'm kind of nearby, but he wasn't really paying attention. You.
Jen, you weren't really you're digging around for other avenues. You weren't really trying to hang out in the city for all that long. Caradoc, though, you've heard Gwendolen is amongst some of the others of all the major cities. It's one of the closer ones to Casa Rosa. You might have done a few trips out there yourself for assorted reasons.
I imagine we would be importing some goods through there. For
Probably some food materials that are from the Free Realm, some medical or medicinal pieces that grow near the Dream Rampant that people are daring enough to go get, etc., etc., etc. So Glendowen is a very divided city. I don't mean that in like a political way. I mean like geographically.
Oh.
There's different districts that comprise Glendowen. Eva bringing up one of them. The hospitality ward is for southeastern travelers going northwest. That's usually where free roamers go to, and usually stay when they go to Gwendolen. Right? They don't usually go deeper. They go there because the hospitality ward is actually directly adjacent to the merchants' quarters. So come in, enjoy the inns, restaurants, taverns, whatever. Trade in the merchants' quarters. Go home. Pretty straightforward. But there are several other districts in Gwendolen proper. There is a crafter's parish, I'll call it the general nomenclature of it is the Freehand's Galley, which is also a part of the hospitality ward, which is where a lot of restaurants are. There's a temple district, simply called that. The thing that probably would catch you, well, maybe not, I don't know. is Concordia Row. Concordia Row is a thoroughfare, a boulevard towards the top of the city, elevation-wise. And it's where a lot of diplomatic communications happen between the Ventoria League, Eulonia, the Free Realms, etc., etc., etc. A lot of places use Glenduin as a diplomatic neutral ground. And it's also where Concordia Row is also where the lords and ladies of Glenduin actually reside. I said a lot of things. Don't want to type it out for you.
Thank you.
So you guys have the hospitality ward, already described as it's a I'll call it the welcoming area, the reception area. For free roamers, you have the merchants' quarters, which are directly adjacent to it. I guess the Freehands Galley is technically distinct from the hospitality ward, but it's really a part of it. You have the Crafters Parish, and I do mean parish in the full sense of the word. It is a Eulonian take on craftsmanship, is semi-religious. There's a temple district, of course. You pay homage to its Numen. You have Concordia Row. Oh, you also have Kryberg. Kryberg is more towards the north or the western part of Glenduin. It's where a lot of hunters and trappers, fur traders, etc. from the Free Realms flock to. Supposedly, it's also where out-of-town criminals migrate through. But who knows how true that is. If there are any criminals in Glenduin, they are not suffered long. That or their crimes are so utterly pointless and innocuous that they don't raise any ire. Or at least that's what people say.
Regularly.
Or at least that's what people say. Jaywalk is not, well, here in California, jaywalk is not illegal anymore, so.
We're doing it too often. They're like, oh,
Yep.
shit, never
Honestly,
mind.
probably yeah, in Los Angeles, but I digress. Oh, in San Diego too. San Diego's terrible. So yeah, that's the general layout or the general district list of Glenduin. Your time there is probably spent in the merchants' quarters, unsurprisingly, being a guild artisan.
Yeah.
You probably have dallied at a couple of restaurants in the Freehands Galley. Maybe paid some homage to the Temple District and Crafters Parish. Probably not Kryberg, though. Unless you're like really looking for a specific type of fur or something, but probably not Kryberg. Oh, I put Concordia. It should be Concordia Row. My bad. Concordia Row. There. So yeah, that's the hips and the hops for Glenduin.
I share with the
The people.
Oh, that's a lot. Can you write that down?
Just drinks from the soup
Nah.
bowl.
Actually.
Remember this
Use it in
shit.
a sentence.
I take
Use it in
a piece from the back of my spare little notebook and I write down the information for Falk.
I was kidding. You don't need to.
Eva's
Okay, now.
transcribing all this.
Oh, there you go.
Eva's like notating it down in her own field journal.
Yeah, but she's not gonna share those.
No, probably not. There are some pieces that she knew about. She like doesn't have to write certain segments, but she does add some things here and there.
But yes, as I said, the few criminals that are in Glenduin, they don't. Well, they're not there for very long. Usually, because yeah, killed.
Because Eulonia.
Yeah.
Well, that has its virtues. We don't have to worry about pickpockets.
Well, at least not targeting us.
Fingers
Quite for a
crossed.
badger.
It's racist.
He said it! He said it!
Oh, I'm sorry. That's right. You don't steal from people.
Well, I mean,
You
Don't
that
Have you
little
ever caught me
comment.
doing it?
can you
I caught
legally
you
prosecute
doing
him?
it. There's a time in Valtonia.
Oh yeah.
Oh, right. You did.
Oh yeah. Good point.
Well, it sounds like we have still a bit of a journey to go, both on the road and in the city proper.
Will we be able to tell when we cross over into the territory? I thought it was a hard border. It's not like the Empire.
To Jin and Caradoc, yes, you can. It's not. Yes, you can. It's obvious in the night. During the
Right.
day, it's a lot harder to pick up on where exactly the line is.
Right, because that's like basically city light pollution, but holy light.
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh well.
Yeah, so there is if you guys were to get there now, you would notice, like at a certain point that this is more for Jin and Caradoc for having traveled through here. Where the night stops being so gloomy and occlusive, where the shadow doesn't seem as dark, linger in the nooks and crevices as deeply. It's still night, but it's not night with the shadow cranked up and the saturation turned down and all this other shit.
We put on gamma.
Mm-hmm.
The transition is clear, although at night it was quite a shock to me when I left how gloomy, almost visceral. The shadows. It's like they're lurking behind every tiny little nook and cranny between trees, rock.
It feels very oppressive, the darkness.
Yeah, never had that before.
Depending on where you live, the shadows quite literally creep on you, so.
That's a lovely thought.
Just wait until you see a pair of eyes in them.
Nope. No. Nope.
Looks out to
No,
the
other
forest
than
to see
that-
if there's a pair of eyes in the distance.
Thought they was chuckling, like, hee 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 hee.
No.
All reflective like. You hold fire in your hand, but that's not gonna help you. You can't see past it anyway.
Oh my god.
Could you stop?
Look, Roma!
You son of a bitch!
Oh my god!
Yes!
Oh my god!
What do you
Oh,
conjure behind Roma?
What? Why do Bias have to save?
30 feet out, like two Scooby-Doo villain eyes, like just two like very like shrewd-looking, evil-looking red eyes in the darkness.
Oh my god! Could Roma roll not to like jump out of her skin?
Yeah, Romeo wisdom save.
Wisdom save.
Hits you with the fucking those.
It's spell save DC 15. I'm sorry to say, those are.
That's it.
You're not alone.
Hook 'em eyes.
She she jumps and tries to play it off. Like oh,
Oh, look, there's one now.
Very funny, very funny. Yes, of course. I'm so terrified at all of you. Yes, no. Mm-hmm.
Alright, just keep that in mind when you go to bed tonight, that's all.
Saves.
Nothing. Don't worry about it.
His fire is okay.
Do we catch
Sorry,
Fias
not
making wisdom
necessary.
saves, or are they so good that
Roll insight, I guess.
Yeah.
he's good? Scuba bop beep bop bop.
Not bad.
Surprisingly good rolls.
17, 16, 17, 7,
Yeah, Caradoc's busy thinking about going to win or something.
15.
Mhm.
Damn.
Very,
Well,
very
within, like-
consistent minus
Why,
one.
why did I
No.
got a 17 when I was done with Riza? That's not fair.
Jen?
Fies is trying to stop the shadow from.
Yeah,
That's exactly what he's doing.
that was
break
my
it.
thought.
That is exact. So he
Yep.
rolled a 12. He is continuously wiggling his leg to catch his shadow by stomping on it.
Oh my god.
Like the shadow, you guys are like giving this prime setup for the shadow to be an actual physical dark presence.
I forgot about that
on
for a
the-
second.
Especially when Roma turns around and jumps at the fake one, but you can have a quote unquote real one right here.
Oh, come on.
Oh no!
Totally, it so thoroughly wants to get in on this mischief, but Fies is like, stop that, stop. He's like spray bottling, stop, no, bad,
She
bad.
gets one. You got her yesterday.
Yeah.
That is so good though.
Oh, come on. Dahlia looks at Fias like, come on.
He shakes his head like, no, it's not. He just shakes his head.
Jin goes from snickering at Roma to seeing that snickering a bit more.
Yeah, Roma just turns to Fires and like, thank you so much. I appreciate it.
It is a slippery slope for him.
I'll try to put on my big girl pants and not be so scared of things.
Yes, put on your big girl pants and put on your big shoes too.
Big shoes?
What?
Clown.
Oh,
All the better for me to tie your laces together. As he lurks in the shadow and goes quiet.
oh, can I punch a shadow? Is that a thing I can do?
You
could
can
try
try.
to. Yeah, you could try to
Punch
stab
the
the ground
dirt.
where Fire's a shadow is at.
Yeah, she's gonna
Shadow
do that.
That does nothing.
It makes me feel better though.
No.
Fire just rubbed the side of his face like, oh no.
Oh boy, you're indulging him. Alright, well.
Shadow does this.
I love this guy.
His shadow just touched.
Woo.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
He's made of noodles!
Yeah.
Perhaps that's a sign for us to call it a night before Fire's shadow decides to bring his own brand of darkness to the campsite.
Right, let's.
Yeah.
Would Anvil be available, or would he be off doing his, making sure we don't get jumped thing?
He patrols in and around.
In and around.
So you see him sometimes, you don't see him most of the time, but you guys see him sometimes. Unlike Tao, which you guys never see him.
He is gone. He does not exist.
He showed up to get dinner, to vacuum dinner, and then he left.
Because I remember Riza suggesting, hey, if you want to learn how to carry big weapons in a fight, talk to Anvil. But it's like, I don't think now would be a good time for that. If he's popping in and out, I don't need to distract him while he's making sure we don't die overnight.
You can't be distracted.
True.
Incorrect.
Incorrect.
He can't be
I think
distracted
that's
by
also tough.
Jin. He's not Aunt Liz.
You can be distracted by Dahlia. You're right.
No.
I mean, you did
Explicitly
distract him, in fairness. You
Yeah.
caught him on his hyperfixation.
I mean,
You batted your eyes at him, and
so. He's like, did you say nodes?
Oh wait, this is Amber we're talking about.
Oh, you're talking about Tao?
that's what we're talking about.
I mixed up my elite killers.
We have so many of them, I don't blame you.
So,
It's a good pairing. You gotta put the hot stuff on the anvil.
My god. He'll at least ask, because if he starts a conversation and the answer's no right now, he might be like, maybe yes later.
yeah, you flag down Anvil as he's passing through camp, checking in on all the tents, make sure there's nothing lurking in there. Like hiding underneath your guys' nose. He does a once around on the perimeter towards the tree line. You flag him down as he's doing the walk.
Mm-hmm.
How can I help you, Jin?
Hello. He does a bit of a bow to be polite. How do we put this? Words with Garth don't work right now suddenly. There we go. The other day I asked Tal if he was at all capable of teaching me something, and it came up with a no because of reasons. But Riza suggested maybe to ask you. But he kind of...
I am concerned if Riza is the one suggesting this. What did you ask about?
Just like a shaky hand of like, yes and no on that one. How the first time we met him was able to wield great weapons with very little difficulty. Very large things, like a kanabo. Larger than my kanabo. And it was just immensely impressive. And to a degree, I'm trying to see if I could learn that or understand it.
He shakes his head. If it's coming from Tal, I imagine there is a lot of alchemy involved in that.
That is effectively what they said. It would most likely kill me. And with you...
He looks off in the direction, just a direction of the tree line. Is that so?
Glance off in that direction to see what he might be seeing.
Roll perception.
I'm not great at this, but you know what? He's, not persuasion. Hello. Oh, wait, I'm actually training perception. I'm insane.
He's staring out somewhere into the darkness. You can't see it that far, though.
Darkness that is imprisoning me. Yeah, takes a glance out, doesn't see anything himself.
Please, please, continue.
Oh, right, because they drugged us up when we were asleep, didn't they? Anyways, so with Riza obviously being around during this conversation, because her and Tal hang out a lot, to be fair, she suggested 2 different avenues. She suggested you, as well as Dragon... what was it called? Dragon Snap? Was that the house?
Snapdragon.
Snapdragon!
That's an order.
Order, thank you. She also suggested the Order of the Snapdragons. But, that's on the far side of Eulonia, and I do not know if we're exactly heading that way. He's not right now.
He shakes his head dismissively. I doubt they'd be revealing their secrets. Eulonians are very traditional.
Mhm.
For better and for worse. One of their traditions is, well, speaking bluntly, there are those as part of their society and there are outsiders. All of you and myself in some partial way are outsiders. As Wardens, we have a bit of different leeway in when it comes to such knowledge, but he shakes his head. You need to ingratiate yourself quite deeply if you're going to be learning on any such knowledges or secrets.
He nods in agreement. It's just like, that's as close to what I expected. Especially being from a, for lack of a better term, rival nation. A nearby potential enemy from them. Not that our nations have exactly long-term history of violence, but the House of the Snapdragons and the Home of the Dragons probably don't get along well.
There is a history between your home country and Eulonia, but it is lost to the survivors. Eulonia makes record of it. It's been successful in most ventures, most skirmishes, battles, sieges, things of that nature, and with the Ryusen realms. But as you are thoroughly aware, those of the Ryusen are very divided. The factions that try to contend against Eulonia are alone, and they die alone. So they said, history is lost to the survivors.
Mm-hmm. He nods a bit more solemnly at the mentions of they fight alone, they die alone. Regardless, I do not know if you would be willing to, or what you could potentially show me. But I thought I would ask.
He crosses his arms, stares at you for a moment, looks you up and down. I will tell you what I told Dahlia and Emmerich last night. The ability for the arcane is latent in every single person in the world. Anyone with enough mental capacity, he taps the side of his temple, can learn the secrets of the arcane. It is utterly unique to them. If you are trying to wield large weapons, you'll be using magic. If you're trying to learn from me, that is. It is not, he shakes his head, not a light amount of magic either. It will be a deeper study for it. No. He holds up 2 quick hands. No. I do not mean to deny you, but ask yourself if you're ready to dive into such academia. And I assure you, the study of the arcane is no thing of child's play. It takes great focus, dedication, and preferably a good library. Spell scrolls and things of the sort.
A library
And be
part would
mindful
probably be the
that
hard one.
Scrolls are what we're saying. Magic written, fonts of knowledge on magic are just as real. And one other thing is, he stops for a moment. It should be wielded very carefully.
The consequences are simply unknowable to me.
Self-consuming.
Self-consuming. Thinks back on Fi's sister, but doesn't mention it. Then maybe.
She puts a hand on her shoulder. My friends, I will tell you this. If you want to embark upon this way, we're traveling together for the next while. I can help you start it. But ask yourself, is this what you want? For the study of the arcane, there's no going back from it. It leaves a mark upon you. And I do not mean a physical one.
He wants to ask a question, but it feels prying. He'll ask. What mark have you seen it leave on other people?
You can't see his face because he wears a closed system.
Yeah, like
But
he's
his
completely
posture dips a
based.
bit. He looks down at his side where you see his maul. His heavy hammer. I don't think you ever tried to use this, did you? Yeah. He takes it off his side just with one hand, holds it out to you. Try holding it. By the top of it. Do not try to hold it horizontally. He's holding it in such a way that the head of it is pointing downward, so he's not holding it out left or right, he's holding it up top to the bottom.
Gotcha. He will take it with both hands.
You take it with both hands. He lets go, and it immediately pulls you to the ground.
Not even a chance, just...
No.
Just leaves a dent in the ground.
A little bit.
Okay, what is that even made of?
He takes it, puts it on his side. This was a gift from a long-gone friend of mine.
Right.
It was his last gift to me, before I used it to kill him. According to him, it was forged in the heart of a dying star, where the forces of the world are astronomically different. He gave his life to learn such knowledge. It consumed him. And he asked me to kill him before he ascended to something else. I do not know what that something else is. But I honored his wish. My friend was... He stops for a moment.
It was more than a friend.
Relentless. He was relentless in his craft, in his study of magic. He sighs. When you begin learning the ways of magic, you begin seeing things differently. How different that is does depend on the study, but you've been scanning around at the camp. You do not see things as merely a tree and its leaves. You begin to understand what it makes it, how to mess with it. And does not stop at inanimate objects, my friend.
You distance yourself from the emotions of the reality and see things for their base components.
In a manner of speaking, yes, amongst other things. Oh yeah, don't worry, there's a curse for sorcerers too.
Teehee. Maybe.
Sometimes this knowledge is worth the suffering, but that can be said for many practices. He looks at Mina's tent where she's like in the midst of like yawning, getting ready for the night. But I'm sure you don't need to be reminded of that.
Let's see. It's a better comparison. He shakes his head to bring himself back to reality. He's kind of lost his own thought for a minute. Let me think about it. Let me think about it for tonight. There's more... It was a more pressing question than I knew it was.
We will be going to Elonia, a bastion of light. Many people travel through there. And not a few of them, much more than a few of them, have their own mythical capabilities. If rumors and things are to be believed. There are written records of it, even, in Eulonian society. High society. You might find someone here that is more your speed. But
True.
I would be hypocritical to deny someone their pursuits in the arcane. Think on it.
I will.
Sleep on it.
And to be fair, the Master of Festivals is coming, so... Maybe I will ask him as well.
I'm sure he has a trick or two up his sleeve. If he wears sleeves.
Jin tries to think of, like, depictions he's seen of the guy. Yes,
Technically, yes,
sometimes.
but they don't really go down to his wrist.
Alright. He does
No,
kind of like a shaky hands, is like, kinda...
It is not pressing. In terms of it, and not so. As I said, I'll be traveling with you all for